And we are back with the Kent State Dynasty mode here on College Football 25. In year one, not that successful of a season for Kent State, at least on the field. Now, off the field with recruiting, I think we're doing a decent job. We've committed a couple 4-stars up until this point, and now we are getting more and more 3-star recruits. And kind of the way I'm approaching things here with Kent State is I'm really not looking at the 2s and 1-stars anymore. That's how I started the recruiting season, but now we're getting, again, 4-star corners from Alabama to commit to play for the Golden Flashes. And as a whole, again, our board is looking a lot better. We are eyeing in on a lot of 3s and 4s. Currently, yes, we are the 3rd best class in the Mid-American Conference behind Akron and North Illinois, but both those schools are recruiting a lot of 2 and 1-star instant commits, so I'm not too concerned. Again, in the regular season, we are going to go either 4-8 or 5-7, and our final record will be after we commit a 3-star fullback from Hamilton, Ohio, and we get a center from Wayne, New Jersey as well. But after our game against the Buffalo Bulls, Kent State will finish with a record of 5-7. So we actually win that game. And again, if it wasn't for our brutal non-conference schedule against Pitt, Tennessee, and Penn State on the road, we likely make a bowl game, assuming we just win one of those 3 non-conference games. However, here we are, 5-7 and no postseason football for Kent State. But again, for the team that was projected to be 134th in college football this season, I don't think 5-7 is that bad of a squad. Our quarterback, Tommy Ulatowski, is coming back next season. It will be his senior year. We're hoping Krishan McCray comes back as Trayshawn Holden from Oregon wins the Heisman Trophy. I haven't seen him win it in the many years I've done with simulating Dynasty, but it is what it is. I think Krishan McCray is like a 50-50 in terms of coming back. We will see. I'd really like our junior receiver, at least he'll be a junior next year, to come back, and we'll see right here. Players leaving. Is McCray here? He is not. All right, good. McCray is not leaving us. Normally, he does leave Kent State. Like, I did an Indiana rebuild. I'll link it in the description down below. It's 2.5 hours and a very good video. But I got Krishan McCray in that because he was wanting to leave Kent State. Most of our guys, though, do not want to stay with us, which, I don't blame him entirely. But again, we are a program that is building. I believe we only brought back, Antoine Campbell was the only guy who wanted to come back after initially deciding to leave the squad. Now, as we look at the transfer portal, surprisingly, we have more guys interested in becoming Golden Flashes than I would have expected. A lot of 3-stars, and maybe it's because, again, our team's not very good, so a lot of guys see this opportunity that they can play right away at Kent State, but I'm perfectly fine with that. We are first on Anthony Miller Jr.'s board. He is a tight end from Tulane, and again, just a lot of general interest from around college football. Yes, from majority schools who are a group of 5s, but that's fine. Like Vasco, who was, I believe, the backup quarterback last season for Coastal Carolina, is interested. He will be a junior next season, while Ulatowski is going to be a senior, so we could just put Vasco basically in the pipeline and just be the next guy up after Ulatowski does graduate. So right off the bat, we're going to finish up getting some of our high school commits. We get a right outside linebacker, and right there is Ethan Vasco from Chesapeake, Virginia. He will be a junior next season. I don't know. Again, I don't think he's going to be better than Ulatowski because he was not the starter at Coastal last season, I don't believe. But again, it's not a bad thing to have. And there you have it. Ethan Vasco does commit to the school. I'm okay with that. Again, we will see where his overall lies. We will also commit Dante Lee Jr., a speed demon from Baltimore, Maryland. I'm not completely sure and don't remember what his original school was, but Vasco and Lee are going to be 2 big names we added to the team, as well as this man right here, Dakota Thomas. I believe he's a senior. We get Charlie Spegel from New Palestine, India. Mason Tufaga, I probably butchered that one, from Hawaii. Anthony Miller Jr., we talked about him earlier, from Tulane, commits to the school. We'll see where he places on the depth chart with the starter last year at tight end, Hayden Junker, graduating just this past year. So our class is pretty solid. We have a couple more guys in the portal we're going to go after, but I think we did a pretty good job at least restructuring this program, bringing new guys in, and I think, just how we're looking at it right now, we may be one of the favorites to win the Mid-American next season. I mean, just look at this. We have the 47th best class in the country. NIU, Akron, Bowling Green follow us, but they're not even close to us in the national ranks. I think we did a great job. We get Rudy Machoud from Franklin, Tennessee. We're going to get Matt from Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania. We are just stacking up these guys from the portal, or Machoud, I guess, was a JUCO transfer, but still, we're getting some of these older guys to play right away. Again, we got Krishan McCray back. I'm really liking the future direction of this team as we check here on National Signing Day. We got most of the guys we wanted from the portal and most of the guys that we wanted, at least late in the recruitment for some of these high school and JUCO guys. As a whole, I think Kent State is going to be a really solid team this season, and we are going to get into the first game eventually here in today's episode of the 2025 college football season, as Kent State will finish with the 39th best class in the country, above schools like VTech, Pittsburgh, Baylor, Kent State, and Utah. That is absolutely huge for the Golden Flashes. So we're gonna take a look here at the team coming into the season. Gavin Garcia now an 87 overall. Ulatowski is the starter. This is training results, so you're not going to see Vasco. Vasco's a 78, so again, he's just gonna be in line to be the starter next season. But Gavin Garcia, man, an 87 overall going into his senior year. That is huge and big time for Kent State. Krishan McCray didn't really develop all that much. He's an 84 overall. Anthony Miller, who we got in the portal, is going to be a 72 overall. He will be behind Mason Williams, the starter, which, you know, makes sense. They're both sophomores, so we'll see how that goes. Our line is all right. They're on the 70s. Much better from last year, though. We had a lot of guys in the 60s on our starting line. As a whole, this team's really not bad. Again, 80s across the board when you look at overall offense and defense. Tafaga, as I probably butcher that again, is going to be the starter coming in from the portal. Our secondary is really not that bad. You know, our strong safety position is just kind of mid, but it is what it is. Our kicker, all right. Punter, all right. And real quick, yeah, there is Vasco, the backup quarterback now behind Tommy Ulatowski, who of course will be starting in his senior season this year. So let's look here at the schedule. I didn't change it. This is what the CPU wanted me to do, and I'm completely fine with this. Unlike last season, we're not going to go on the road and get smashed. I mean, again, the money games are nice, but our only money game this season is at Florida State. I think other than that, we have San Diego State here this week, and it's a real manageable schedule because, again, I want to make a bowl game this season, and on top of that, I want to win the Mid-American Conference. But I think a bowl game would be huge for this program, and taking on a San Diego State team here who, you know, historically has been a lot better than Kent State, but this season Kent State has, I believe, 4 overalls on San Diego State. Kent State's an 80, SDSU is a 76, but these are games we can win. Again, we talked about it last season. That's what I felt was the difference between us making a bowl game and not, was that we just didn't have easy non-conference games, and I think this year these aren't necessarily easy non-conference games, but they're more manageable games rather than going on the road and getting smacked by Penn State. Right? Tommy Ulatowski right there is going to fumble, but he still pick up the first down. The speed is going to be huge for him this season. 1st and 10 here for Kent State. Gavin Garcia, again, he's going to be the big focal point of the offense. Him and Krishan McCray. And there goes Gavin Garcia into the end zone. Again, an 87 overall. Our best guy on our offense and really just on our team as a whole. Kent State takes a 7-0 lead here at Snapdragon Stadium in San Diego. Second goal here for Kent State. We're just playing the moments in this game, and there goes Fisher on the jet touch pass again. Since we did the offseason, just going to go through a game very quickly here. Jet touch pass, though, it's going to go in the books as a passing touchdown in the first of the season for Tommy Ulatowski. However, our defense is really not holding up. I'm pretty much just playing offense. San Diego State's going to score 14 straight, but look at this ball going to Fisher again. Tommy Ulatowski finds his receiver, burning the Aztec defense deep, and Kent State retakes the lead 21-17 here in San Diego, but San Diego State scores again, giving the Golden Flashes the ball here on a 3rd and 9. There goes Ulatowski looking for his tight end in Mason Williams. That ball falls incomplete, and Kent State will opt to kick the 38-yard field goal here to close out this first half. My kicking skills in this game have never been the greatest, but we are going to nail that one. This game is tied at 24 going into half. A much better showing, at least, though, this season for Kent State on the road against a pretty formidable opponent in the San Diego State Aztecs. So our defense gets a stop early here in this 3rd quarter against San Diego State, and now we're going to go back on the ground. Gavin Garcia's got 8 carries for 75 yards. There's another first. 2nd and 5. Ulatowski looking to throw. He will find behind who else? Fisher for the first down. What an impact he has made in this game. Kent State's got it down now to the 13-yard line. 1st and 10 for Ulatowski. RPO. Gonna swing it out to Thomas, and that's a touchdown for Kent State. So shout out to the transfer portal. Dakota Thomas came into the offseason, and he scores a touchdown here in game number 1 for Kent State. 31-24 for the Golden Flashes, looking to add on. Ulatowski just gonna dump it off to Gavin Garcia. Oh, he breaks the man's ankles as Garcia takes it all the way down to the 29-yard line. 1st and 10 again for Kent State. It's gonna be a draw going back to Garcia. Him and Fisher have really carried the load tonight for this Golden Flashes offense. It's gonna be a 2nd and 6 now from the 44-yard line. Ulatowski's going to give again to Gavin Garcia, and he's going to lose the football. I mean, the guy is only, 5'8", 5'9", 5'7", I think 5'9". He'd definitely be shorter if he was 5'7". But anyways, that turnover is going to be costly because San Diego State comes back and scores a touchdown. So Kent State finds themselves in a tie game right here. Dakota Thomas, by the way, 8 catches for over 100 yards in his first game as a member of Kent State. 2nd and 2, Ulatowski over the top. He's got Lee, the former Liberty Flames receiver who, again, like Dakota Thomas, came in through the portal, scores. It's a defensive pass interference on San Diego State, but obviously that's not going to matter because Dante Lee gets into the end zone anyways. 38-31, Kent State now back with the football. They're looking to run out this clock. There is Dakota Thomas on the jet touch pass. Again, 140, I would say, receiving yards so far in this game for Dakota Thomas. What a debut he has had, and what a debut for Dante Lee too. Again, Lee only with 1 catch, but a huge one that put Kent State ahead. And now Gavin Garcia on the screen, getting down to the 21-yard line. 1st and 10, Ulatowski, handoff, Garcia. He's inching closer to that first down marker. 2nd and 2 now, 1st and 10 for Kent State. Play action fake, Ulatowski. We haven't called his name all day, but it's Christian McCray. It feels like everyone got involved in the offense tonight except for that man. McCray scores to put the nail in the coffin, at least it seems. San Diego State does score one more time, but right there, Dakota Thomas is going to put the nail in the coffin officially. 427 passing yards for Tommy Ulatowski. Kent State going to try to put it in the end zone one more time on the jet touch pass, going back to who else? Dakota Thomas. And the Kent State Golden Flashes will go to Southern California. They will go to San Diego, and they will take down the San Diego Aztecs by a score of 52-38. My goodness, what a statement that has been made. And again, Kent State makes it very clear they are not the same middle of the pack MAC team they were last year. Tommy Ulatowski is out for a vengeance here in his senior season, and he starts game 1 with 429 yards passing and 6 touchdowns. So folks, thank you all for watching episode number 4 of the Kent State Dynasty Mode here on College Football 25. If you haven't yet though, make sure that subscribe button down below for more. Leave a like if you are enjoying the series so far. Folks, thank you for watching, and Mamba forever.